Hey animators, I got a little problem behind me. As you see, lava background. We're talking about controversial topics today. So there's this little issue. I'm not the only one who talked about it. I know a bunch of other people also did, but I want to tackle the issue myself. And surprise, surprise, it's about criticism and feedback. I'm not sure where to begin because it is a pretty broad topic, so I'll start with the recent event that happened to me on the forums. Don't worry, it's not gonna be me crying because I got bad criticism on my rig, but I need an example, and I've been here. I can talk about this more in depth, so hear me out. So, a little more than a month ago, I posted Oblivion 6.0. It is the upgrade to my Oblivion rig, and I'm still making corrections to the download folder today. If there's any bugs in the rigs, you might want to go back, because I've updated the download files. Anyways, I wanted to share my rig. And I know that not everybody in the community watches my YouTube channel, so I posted the rig in the Mine Imator forums. Some would say that's a fatal mistake. And before I continue the story, because we all know where it's going, I want to say that I got some really beautiful criticism on it. Some people were straight up super constructive and really delivered their issues in a very positive and mature way. Good job, guys. On the other hand, some were really aggressive and directed. I was a little bit shocked and tried to explain from my end. There was a misconception about pillow shading on the face, which is supposed to be the beard. Yeah, that's my bad. I gotta fix it. I will fix it. Textures, pupils, you name it. A bunch of stuff people didn't like about the rig. That's normal. And I said that I like my pupils spread apart, not close. Or a bunch of things that were part of a personal preference. I just said I want to keep it that way, and right off the bat I got comments saying that what I'm doing is wrong and that I'm arrogant and I'm acting like a god or deflect criticism and basically SharpWind bad because he can't take criticism. And at that point I was no better. I was straight up starting to argue back. I shouldn't have done that. I should have left it where it is. I'm not saying I'm in the clear. What I did in the argument was also my fault. Before I continue, I want to discuss the type of feedback that was actually speaking to me. For example, a bunch of the first comments were actually very constructive. Hold on, let me open. Not gonna lie, but I'm not a fan of your shading technique. But nice rigs. Epic, but not so epic with the shading. That's fine. He doesn't like the shading, he's let me know, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, what this comment is saying to me is, we are friends and I'm trying to help you. It's a genuine feedback saying, hey, you're doing a good job, but you might want to fix the textures a bit. And that's true. I'm no texture artist. The way I done my textures was took a base color, then took a slightly off color and just went crazy with the brush so I get some texture in there, and then shade off the edges. Then some comments like, what's up with those bends? They're not sharp or smooth, they're just deformed. Also, I gotta agree with blank. That shading style is called pillow shading and is generally not liked by most people. That one is actually speaking a whole different vibe. It's almost like looking at your creation from a higher perspective. I'm blurring out the names because I don't want to call anybody out. And the last thing I want is anybody here trying to defend me in this case. Do not do that. Please stay away from the whole situation. I'm just talking about stuff. And this, and this, and this, and this. These go on forever. Now, I'm not saying that these comments don't make a point. I get it. A lot of people do not like center pupils like I do. That is a completely valid argument, as well as the deformed elbows. Those were disgusting and I changed them, as well as the textures. Again, I said they're not the best. The comments do make a good argument, but what they're doing wrong is just pointing out every single bad thing you've made in the render. The way I see the Mine Imator community, I've made the rig as a hobby, in my free time, for YouTube, for people to use in their Minecraft animations. I'm not working in Hollywood industry. Normally, there's gonna be flaws. And by the way, thank you to the forum for pointing those things out. Now I know what you generally dislike and stuff like that. I'm not attacking anybody, just so we're clear. But aren't we all in this together? We are all animators. We're all creating stuff. We're all just trying to get better. Like you're talking to someone on the forum and you're like, wow, that guy just hit 5k subscribers, good for him. What I'm saying is we can be friends. It's like when your friend posts something which is not the best, you're not just gonna pinpoint everything he's done wrong. It kind of makes you look like a jackass. What I'm saying is some compliment is due. Hey, I love the diversity. The rig seems very organized and well done. However, I feel like the textures aren't really the best. You might want to look into that. That is way more constructive than just saying, maybe you should learn about pixels because that's bad. Excuse my mockery, I just think this whole thing is dumb. Because when you log into the forums, it just feels like the whole place is a big competition of who's gonna be better. Can't really find a word to describe that without sounding rude. It's not my intention, please bear with me, but it almost seems like you post something and someone goes, I found this mistake and you didn't. That makes me better than you. It's like people want to feel better by finding out what others did wrong. And that's wrong. That's a bad mentality. And what I've done is I got defensive. No, you're not better, I did this great. Because I know when you say something bad about someone's work, they like to get like, no, that is actually intentional, I wanted it to be that way. They kind of neglect all of that, and I can completely understand why the forums thought I was neglecting all the criticism, because people do that. I completely understand where they're coming from. However, there is a thing such as genuine preference. For example, centered pupils. I can see the appeal, I know why people like it, but it just takes my character and makes him seem like a child, and I don't want that. At least not for Oblivion. That's why I want to keep it centered, just because the way it is. What I'm saying essentially is the forums need to start complimenting creators more. Creators, on the other hand, need to listen to their feedback. We both messed up. This is the community we're building, and this is the community we're gonna live with. If you're a beginner that goes into the forums, oh, I made my first Mine Imator render, let's post it, I want to see what people think, and you just get criticized into oblivion, I can see a lot of people being like, oh, animation is actually way harder than I thought. There's a lot of standards and things that I'm not even aware of, maybe it's just not for me. And that person's never gonna become an animator, that's kinda sad. It is important to let them know where they did wrong, but it's also important to give the praise. Hey, this is really good for a first render. I like the fact that you tried this and this and that. However, try doing this and this in the future. They're gonna be like, oh, I'm doing something wrong, and he's helping me to be better. It's easier to take feedback if it comes from a genuine place. Whereas if somebody just points out everything you did wrong, it's hard to take it seriously, because it just feels like one of those stuck-up 50 years old just being like, actually, one of those stuck-up know-it-alls and stuff. The goal in this community is not to be the best. It's to help each other out. It's the community we're talking about, not the individual. You help me, I help you, we help each other. Even Skibs, the all-beloved Papa Skibs, can't seem to find it. I can't find it. I know Skibs did a render, which looked pretty good, but the background was realistic and there was a Minecraft character in the center. And I know that even Skibs himself, got a shit ton of criticism in the comments. Like, come on. He was trying something new, and I know he gets way overly praised, but he didn't deserve that. What I'm saying is people shouldn't focus on the downsides. He was trying a new style, he was trying to see what it would look like. Or he genuinely liked it, there's nothing wrong with that. People have styles, people have preferences. There's no right or wrong way to create art. That's not wrong, that's interesting. There simply is art. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like we, as a community, should be way more friendly with each other. Not who's better and who creates better stuff, but congratulations, I'm proud of you. Even the Monster School animators. And yes, I've said it. I personally think Monster School is low-effort animation, and it's kind of shameful. But if you see someone getting really popular with it, then congratulations. I might not like what you're doing, but I can't really change anything about it either. As long as he's trying to improve and he's practicing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with this person whatsoever. He's trying his best to be good, and even though his creations might be kind of gross, people seem to enjoy it, and he's still practicing and trying to improve and be better. You know what I mean? If he creates low-effort animations and doesn't even care about the animation, then it's not really wrong and stupid, it's just sad. Because he's abusing the medium of animation to get what he wants without even caring about it. That is sad. But still, hating on this won't change anything. If I hate on your submission, none of us benefit. You're gonna feel like crap because I just insulted everything you did, and what do I get from that? Absolutely nothing. Just the feeling that I'm better than him. Although, I was just a complete jackass by doing that. And that guy's probably gonna feel like we're all attacking his work and gonna get really defensive and egoistic himself. It's a vicious cycle. If somebody says, hey, I like this, but I feel like this could be done better, you don't have to take that, obviously. I mean, it's your rig, you can do anything you want with that rig. You don't have to do what people say. However, keep it in mind. If someone says he didn't like your textures, there's probably something about that and you should try better next time. You don't have to bow to anything or change anything about your rig. It is 100% your creation and you have the right to do anything you want with it. Nobody can tell you what to do with your creation. However, pay attention to what people say. It is going to help you. Now, we've all gotten bad criticism before, so I want to ask you to be kinder to each other. Not just to me, because I got bad criticism on my rig, but everybody. That noob that makes crappy stuff all the time and is super excited about it, let him know he's doing something right. He is happy about animation. Isn't that what matters? He's happy. That's the whole point, is to be happy about stuff. Not feeling pressured about doing everything right. We all make mistakes, we're human. Jesus Christ. Let people know what they're doing right instead of what they're doing wrong. Start with a compliment, and don't even dare to say there's nothing good to find about someone's creation. I'll go onto Google and find something disgusting. Some might argue that this looks gross. However, you can always find something good about someone's creation. For one, these two characters are interacting. It's not just platonic faces, but he's creating some sense of a story behind it. The execution is not the best. There's flatlands, there's no lighting and stuff like that, but he is putting story onto the wallpaper. Even this can be complimented. Don't tell me you can't find anything good about someone's work, because it's not true. Oh no, flatlands and stiff facial expressions. Wow, you're using more advanced models and using blocks to create extrusions. That's a good touch. I like the fact that you made them step onto the block to create more dynamic. However, try making the face more expressive and add some background. It's way more friendly, you're not gonna hurt any feelings, and it doesn't cost anything. And you who posted this, you should take the advice. Don't get defensive and feel attacked, but take the critique. The one who comments and the one who receives the criticism, they both need to have an open mind and just be more friendly in general. I think it's a problem in the entire community, this whole competition mentality, I'm better than you, you're better than me thing. Heck, let's just be friends. Do we need the dumb arguments? Like, I know I'm no Picasso and I make mistakes a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing anything right either. Because I know for one thing that I'm doing right is I'm treating people right. At the end of the day, I want to thank the forums though, because it did still help me figure out what's wrong with my rig. What's wrong? What's not the best on my rig? Just next time, you don't have to be so harsh about it, that's all. Now, we all got bad criticism before, and I'm not alone making this video today. I have a bunch of guests in here, a little bit more known faces in the community, and I want to hear what they have to say.
Now, I've been brought in by Big Daddy Sharp to share my views on giving critique in the Mine Imator community. I've addressed this with people in private conversations and have been wanting to make a public statement about it for a while. So here goes. We're giving critique to an artist, whether it be an animator or illustrator or even a video editor. You need to be mindful of how you come across if you want them to take it seriously. There's a distinction between good and bad criticism, believe it or not. Saying something looks like shit without explaining why it looks like shit isn't helpful and can demotivate the artist at times. I've personally had people relentlessly trashing my work and just made me not want to continue. It's not very epic, I'm not gonna lie to you. Highlight the pros and cons in a piece of artwork or whatever. I can guarantee the artist will appreciate it more and be more inclined to accept your critique. It's better than trashing on the work of the artist with really snobby attitude and leaving the other person with a bad taste in their mouth. Again, it's not very epic. Now, of course, I want to clarify this only applies to a select few people. You know, the trolls who will just point the finger at something but not give a solution. If you are giving critique to someone and it's genuinely constructive from your end and they see that, you're doing a good job. That is what constructive criticism should be. Even on SharpWind's post about Oblivion's new rig release, there were a lot of people who were genuinely giving good critique and explaining certain things they didn't like and why they didn't like it. That's good. I just want to clarify that so I don't sound like I'm aiming this to everyone. It's just a very small but loud and consistent minority that I'm speaking to. Another thing I want to tackle is friendly competition. I'll say that in big quotation marks. Now, of course, I love me some friendly competition. The passion for learning and not wanting to lose to someone you respect is invaluable, but there comes a point where friendly competition becomes not so friendly. I've seen people trying to one-up each other so much that they end up having this slight superiority complex. I'd say that in quotation marks too. Now, of course, I'm not saying everyone's going to be a raging narcissist, but you don't want to have the wrong kind of tension in your rivalries. I think I've said my piece. All in all, we're all trying to get better at what we do. And if there's something you want to say to an artist that could possibly help them, have the common courtesy to actually make it into a developed critique. Highlight the pros and cons. That way they know what they did good, so they know to do it again in the future. And to highlight what they did bad, so they know what to change. I think I've rambled for long enough, so I think I'll pass it on to the next person now.
Criticism has always been a rather touchy subject in the Mine Imator community. It seems as if many people don't really understand the point of criticism in the first place. For one, you need to be more specific about what is wrong with the content. Oftentimes, I see people just label an entire project as dumb or bad, which isn't helpful to anyone and just makes the animator feel terrible. Sometimes, even just saying something you liked about their work can make the experience 10 times better. But when you do critique their posts, give them time to respond. Don't automatically assume their reasoning as to why they did a certain thing. This is a conversation after all, not a lecture. Another thing is that I personally can relate to what Sharp has said regarding new animators and how oftentimes they aren't treated with much kindness at all. For those of you who don't know, I make MGBs. I remember going into my Discord server and posting whips of my MGBs, and although I can admit that the animation wasn't that good and wasn't very original either, I got so much hate for just being an inspired kid. I oftentimes got comments like, dude, that is so bad, or why can't you just be original? As someone who was fairly new and excited to be in the community, I was really hurt by this, which led to me leaving the Discord server for quite some time. This whole experience could have easily been avoided if they had just phrased their opinions better. Dude, that is so bad could have easily been nice animation, though I do see quite a few things that you can do to make it even better. That alone is already more welcoming and more engaging. So next time you are critiquing someone, just keep in mind that they most likely did try their best, and as Sharp said, let's try to be supportive of each other. Thanks for having me.
So I just want to end on a note that what's done is done, we can't change the past, but we can change the future. I'm sorry about all the defensive stuff that I've said. I know I don't always react in the perfect way, but also I'm hoping that things will change. That we'll be able to interact in a more healthy way. Everybody, not just me, even people I don't even know about. I'm talking about everybody in the community. Because we don't need this competition. We're all just animators and we're all trying our best. We're in this together. So I hope my message got across in the right way, and I hope you're able to hear what I'm actually trying to say. There's no need for pointless hate, because at the end of the day, I'm your friend. I'm a fellow animator who's trying his best, and I bet you are too. Guys, spread the positivity, be kind to each other, and let's raise the positive vibes in the community. Come on. I send you off with a mission to make the community more wholesome. It is up to all of us. Thank you for watching, and stay sharp. I'm grateful to my community for being understanding. A lot of people say that my Discord server is one of the most friendliest in the community, and I'm proud of that. You're doing a good job, guys. You're making old Sharp proud. And now I want to spread the positivity into the other parts of the community, because everybody deserves to get a compliment sometimes. So let's make it happen.